I'm Chris Hayes. The Republican Party just had its first Todd Akin moment of the 2016 campaign. Wisconsin governor and likely presidential candidate Scott Walker announced he intends to sign a 20-week abortion ban now moving through the state legislature, even if that bill makes no exceptions for pregnancies resulting from rape or incest.
I mean, I think for most people who are concerned about that, it's in the initial months when they're the most concerned about it. In this case, again, it's an unborn life. It's an unborn child, and that's why we feel strongly about it. I'm prepared to sign it.
Walker did not say how he knows that most women who become pregnant due to a rape or incest are mostly only concerned about what to do for the initial months of that pregnancy. But he seems to know, and he'll sign that bill. Those comments come less than a week after Walker defended a Wisconsin law that requires women seeking an abortion to undergo a mandatory ultrasound. That's not one they consent to. It's required by law, by saying, oh, no, ultrasounds are cool.
The media tried to make that sound like that was a crazy idea. I think most people I talk to, whether they're pro-life or not, I find people all the time who get out their iPhone and show me a picture of their grandkids' ultrasound and how excited they are. So that's a lovely thing. I think about my sons are 19 and 20, and we still have their first ultrasound picture. It's just a cool thing out there.
Heading into 2016, the Republican Party already has an uphill battle to win over women voters. The gender gap in 2012 was the largest in the history of the Gallup poll, with President Obama winning among female voters by 12 points. And after catastrophic gaffes like Akin's famous legitimate rate comment, the GOP has spent the past few years trying to repair the damage. For example, launching a program to recruit female candidates and tutoring Republican congressmen in how to run against women without being offensive. This time around, the Democrats are likely to end up with a nominee who performs pretty well among female voters. And while the Republicans have a deep bench of over a dozen presidential candidates, only one of them is a woman, Carly Fiorina, currently polling at 1.4% in the Real Clear Politics average. Last night we showed you this chart with the percentage of women serving in the House and Senate since 1917 divided by party. It's pretty much even until 1990, at which point the number of Democratic women shoots up and Republicans fall way, way behind. When I talked yesterday with Senator Barbara Boxer, one of 14 Democratic women now in the Senate, I asked her what she made of that chart.
I think what we've seen happen to the Republican Party over time is they've changed dramatically. They used to be for the Equal Rights Amendment. They used to be for equal pay for equal work. They used to be pro-choice. I remember when I was involved early on in my career, probably before you were born, in Planned Parenthood and these other groups, Republicans were leading the way, and they've changed dramatically. Now we have a party that really does not reflect the dreams, hopes, aspirations of our daughters.
As the senator points out, this is more than just a rhetorical shift. It's borne out in the policies embraced by Republican politicians, like the 20-week abortion ban Scott Walker says he'll sign, which not only prohibits exceptions for rape and incest, it would also allow the father to sue for emotional distress if he disagrees with a woman's decision to terminate her pregnancy, regardless of whether the man in question is in a relationship with the woman. Joining me now, Senator Tammy Baldwin, Democrat from Wisconsin. Senator, your reaction to the governor of your state's comments today about how a woman feels about her pregnancy that results from rape.
Well, this is Scott Walker's Todd Akin moment. I could not believe that our governor, in a few short words, showed how deeply out of touch he is with the women of Wisconsin and the women of this country. And frankly, his policies with regard to women's reproductive health are actually dangerous.
If I were to play devil's advocate on behalf of the governor, the two comments that he's gotten some heat for, today's comment and the earlier one about ultrasounds, you can say, well, he was taken out of context, or he was talking about issues that are emotionally loaded and fraught, and you know, it wasn't a full speech on them. I mean, what's your response to these are just words you're attacking defense?
You know, Governor Walker, even when I served with him in the state legislature, did not believe that there should be any exception for rape, for incest, for health or life of the mother with regard to abortion. And he hasn't changed over these years. I think that he really is out of touch with the reality of women across Wisconsin, especially those who have suffered the horror of rape or incest. And I think he is part of what seems to be a larger strategy to try to pass laws that curtail women's reproductive freedom and rights, that try to peel back the Roe versus Wade decision, which is the law of the land.
Why, if it is the case that he's out of step in Wisconsin, how is this someone who, knowing full well what his views are, managed to win election in your state 3 times in 4 years?
You know, the issues that voters focus most on in these last few years has been jobs and the economy, and the discussion has been pretty much focused off of the issues that we're talking about today. And it's unfortunate because I think the more and more people who know what Scott Walker believes, that his policies, and my belief that his policies are really dangerous in this arena, I think that that would have an impact. But unfortunately, they haven't gotten as much attention, I think, in his gubernatorial elections as they really needed to be. And we're paying for that. He has signed into law a number of restrictions, just like we're seeing in other states across the country, law after law that have nothing to do with promoting a woman's health or safety, but are trying to reduce access to safe and legal abortion.
And it should be noted, in my understanding of the legislation he says he'll sign is basically in the mainstream center of where the Republican Party is on this issue. 20-week ban, no exception for rape or incest. I mean, that is not something that's anomalous among modern Republican politicians.
Yes, but if you look at the history of those who have been elected president, Scott Walker's views are clearly more extreme than any Republican president in recent times, much more extreme than President George W. Bush with regard to the issues of having exemptions that deal with the health and the life of the mother, and the issues of exemptions for rape victims and incest.
Yeah. Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin, great pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.